Hey everyone, welcome to the third part, Mindsets and Mentalities of Being a Good Intern. I know I make a lot of mindsets and mentalities videos a lot, but I feel like having the right mindset is like the foundation. And if you want to approach something and get good at something, you have to first have the right mindset and have the right goals and be aware of those goals, or else after a while your actions will start to be like misaligned. So yeah, like first of all, you have to know what you want, then why you want it, then you have to figure out how to get that. And then if you ever start doubting yourself, you remind yourself why you want it. So they kind of like work together. First of all, this is kind of a mindset thing, but just when you're doing an internship, don't just focus on working. You're gonna burn yourself out, and an internship, at the end of the day, an internship is a way for you to collect data so that you know what you want in a full-time job. What I mean by this is, let's say you have one internship, right? Let's say you have no internships and you have 5 job offers. How do you decide between them? You have to, I guess, like ask a lot of people and see what they think, and also sort of imagine what it's like if you were to go to that company. Whereas let's say you had 10 internships, all various sizes, various products, and various like types of teams and various locations. Then when you, let's say you have 10 job offers, you can sort of have an idea of like, I like a bigger company with a good team, good benefits, close to San Francisco, and close to my friends. And there has to be a good boba in the area, you know. And you can only really have confidence with that claim if you have evidence for it and data. And that's where all these internships come along. So basically the analogy I always like to bring up is internships is sort of like dating. In my opinion, I think it's better to date 10 girls and find out what you like, what you don't like, what kind of person you are, you know, and sort of like learn those like relationship stuff, versus just seeing the first girl you kind of like and just going all in and getting really comfortable and wanting to marry her, right? Like after the first girl, how do you know like she's the one? Versus if you've dated 10 girls and you meet 11th girl and she's like super awesome, you're like, okay, I know why she's super awesome, because she's better than these 10 girls. But at the same time, like I guess if you like meet the one and she's like your high school sweetheart, then I'm happy for you. But yeah, so having a lot of internship experience gives you an idea of whether you want to first go back to that company. Also, it gives you an idea of if you want to work at a company of that size. Like some people like the impact of working in a startup, but it might be really chaotic, but maybe they like that. Whereas someone likes to work in a mid-sized company where you can still make that impact, but there's also structure and more mentorship. Or they like to work in a big company where it's like really stable and comfortable, and you just work on a little tiny piece of like this big project, but it still drives you in a way, you know. Another note is it gives you an idea of whether you want to work with that technology. Definitely after my internship at Tinder, I knew that I wanted to work on iOS. And then after my internship at Microsoft, I knew I didn't want to work with like C#. Another thing is location. I've interned at San Diego, Seattle, San Francisco, Mountain View, like Santa Monica, West Hollywood. So different cities, right? Like some close to home, some away from friends. Seattle, I guess I didn't experience like the bad weather of Seattle, only the good weather. And then places with like high rent. And to me, I guess I found out that it didn't really matter, as long as there's good food and like good karaoke in the area and like good friends. The other stuff is like whatever. But I feel like other people, they need to be close to nightlife, right? Or they want to be close to family. So this is stuff that you can either hypothesize on, or if you've actually been through it, you can easily say, yeah, I didn't really like being like that far away from home. Anyway, so I guess that is why you shouldn't just focus on work. You should also be aware of like the other factors, because you're kind of collecting data on this internship. Okay, but I forgot to mention, that being said, one of your goals is still to get the return offer, right? So you still have to like make sure you're like on top of your work. So one thing I want to talk about though is like something I regret. It's something that happened to me pretty much like every internship after Yelp, and I feel like I was definitely aware of it, but at the same time I couldn't help it. But yeah, if you're just like starting to do your internships, or you're doing like your second or third, keep this in mind. Basically after Yelp, every subsequent internship I was like, okay, this internship can't top the previous internship, because the previous internship was just so good. So my story is, after Yelp I had like a really, really good time, and I couldn't see like any other internship sort of beating it. So going to Hulu, I was like, this is like the same thing, like same company size, you know, I don't even watch TV, and I just went in with this like very negative attitude. But it turned out to be like super fun. I met my housemates, which were like, they were just like really amazing. Hulu had all these events. My team was super awesome, and they were like really funny. And I ended up like having a really good time. Then I went to Google, right? So at Google, I was like, the first few days I was like, this is what I expect. It's like a big company. I already feel like I'll be making like very little impact. But like free food is kind of nice, you know, because Yelp and Hulu didn't have free food, and I was like, wait. So I just ordered 3 tacos. I said I wanted 3 fish tacos, right? I was expecting 3 fish tacos. They gave me 3 boxes of fish tacos, and I was like, wait, I just take this and I leave? I don't have to pay, you know? But still, I was like, yeah, this is like a really big company. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But it turned out that my internship was the most technical out of all my internships. Oh, my stomach's growling. I'm hungry. And I ended up finding the DDR machine, which was like really fun. I had a lot of bonding moments with my my roommate, and I just made a lot of impact, despite how big Google was. Okay, so yeah, going from Google to Tinder, I was like, Tinder is such like an immature company. It's like all about fun. I can't see how like I'm gonna be like, I'm coming from Google, right? Like Google's like the top. How can anything top Google? But what ended up happening was my team at Tinder was like very, very legit, and I just learned so much iOS, and everyone was friendly, everyone was having a good time. I was getting paid like a lot. They gave me like a housing stipend, right? And normally what happened was they say, oh, we're gonna give you 1,500, and then in the end, after tax, it's like 1,100. But then Tinder was like, I'll give you 1,000, let's say 1,700. And what actually happened was that's like post-tax. So actually what happened was they paid like $3,000, so that after tax was like 1,700, which is like, what? And it was like close to home. I met some really, really good friends. They're interning at Robinhood, and I'm like really excited to see them next year. Yeah. So then after Tinder, I was like, yo, there's like no way Microsoft can top this. Like, so I was again going in a very like negative thing. I was just like, I've done 6 internships. This is my 7th. I know the drill. Honestly, this internship's kind of like extra. I don't even need it. Yeah, and then I was just like pleasantly surprised again. Seattle was really beautiful. I met a lot of good friends, and I met a really cool girl. It didn't work out, but it was a really good experience. And yeah, like signature event. Like if you watch my Microsoft series, like you can tell how much fun it was. So yeah, moral of the story is go into every internship excited with a positive attitude and really willing to learn and explore, because you're just going to set yourself up for success. Otherwise, if you come in with a negative attitude, the positive things won't seem that positive to you, and the negative things would really stick out because you're looking for them, right? So yeah, that's like going in with a positive attitude. All right, cool. So I guess the final thing I do want to talk about is like the mentality of an intern is different from the mentality of a full-time. An intern, you have, again, finite days where you know, like on December 3rd, I'm going to leave. Whereas in a full-time job, you're like, yeah, I might be here for 20 years if I don't do anything and if I don't get fired. With just like 10 or 12 weeks, it's more of a sprint. And it's more like, how can I get the most out of this in all aspects? So learning, job opportunity, networking, so that's like friends and getting to know the other professionals, and like data collection. I'm not going to, that's like what comes to my mind at the very, like right now, but I don't want to like give out like a comprehensive list. One, because I don't have one, and two, this list is for you to decide, right? You just start with the thought, I want to make the most out of this. Now, then you think, how can I make the most out of this? And then you like come up with a personalized version and plan for yourself. Because this is what works for me, and this is what I value and what I think is important. Some people are like, no offense, right? Like, not saying this is bad or anything, like hardcore, like smart people, like nerds, right? Like they're very, very into learning and pushing the boundaries of what they can do with technology and like understanding machine learning, AI, blah, 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 right? So they're very intellectually stimulated when they get to solve these really, really hard problems. So maybe they don't really care about getting to know other interns or getting to know the area. They just want to find a place with really, really good work. So those priorities would be different than mine. And how they deem their internship as successful would be different from how I deem my internship as successful. But in my opinion, I feel like you can have the best of both worlds. So yeah, that's just like what I prioritize. This is meant to be like a discussion. It's not really meant to be like, oh, this is right and this is not right, right? I think it's important for everyone to stay organized, but only to the point where it doesn't get in your way. If you're overthinking everything and overanalyzing everything, and that's causing you to do less work, then you probably want to dial back on the organization. But yeah, I'm really excited that I was able to like film all of this. Hopefully I'll edit this really fast. And just to recap, you want to stay organized, actively communicate with your mentor, manager, get to know the other people in your team, get to know people in your company, get to know other interns, and have a good attitude coming into your company and coming into your internship. And yeah, if you have any questions or if you want me to clarify more on something, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll try to get to it. And yeah, please, if there's something you still want to see, like an idea or a question, fill out the Google form, and if I think I can make a video out of it, which is probably like very likely, then I'll definitely make it. So thanks for watching. This is how to be a good intern. Thanks.